Okay, this video is to show you how to make a bobbin on the Juki straight stitch sewing machines. I'm looking at the side of the machine. So this down here is the mechanism for making the bobbin. So on the side of the machine, the right side, directly under the hand wheel. You want to make sure when you are making a bobbin that your machine is not threaded. It should not be anywhere on the top mechanism, through the needle, and whatnot. So you need to completely unthread your machine. I'm first going to put the spool on the spool pin. Okay, directly above the spool pin where your thread went is this little bar here. From the back side, you do need to thread your thread through this little hole here. Okay, and then pull and let it drop down toward the bobbin maker. Okay, once you have it threaded from the spool pin, you're going to come in. You'll see this mechanism here has a little hole in it. You want to put your thread from left to right through that hole and pull out a length of it. And then you're going to wrap your thread through that tension guide there. Do the little wheel. It should be on the inside of that wheel from there. Okay, so through the hole, around the back side of the tension guide, pull it, make sure you floss it so it is actually in that tension disc. Okay. From that tension disc, it is going to go onto a bobbin, so you need to have a metal bobbin that fits in the Juki straight stitch machine. Place that on that little knob there. Make sure it is all the way on. Bring your thread from the tension dial. You're going to take a length of thread and then wrap it. Wrap it, okay? That would be clockwise. Okay, making sure that you've got it all wrapped up there. Once you have it around that bobbin a few times, then you're going to push this little mechanism here. Okay, after you have all of this set up, you have your machine on, you are simply going to push down on the foot pedal. This will wind the bobbin completely. When it is completely wound, it will pop back, indicating that it's done. Just as a side note, your needle is still going up and down, so do not place your fingers anywhere near the needle on your machine. Okay, so as you saw, that popped back. It's not spinning anymore. Take your foot off the foot pedal. Flip your thread, take that bobbin off, and now you are ready to insert it into your bobbin case and put it inside your machine. Once you have your bobbin wound, you are going to have to put it into your bobbin case and put it into your machine. So your bobbin case, if you're changing a bobbin or if it's in the machine still from another color, it's going to be located directly underneath this needle. So there's two ways to get into the bobbin case. One of them being through this door, which simply slides back. Oops, sorry. Simply slides back. The other way is to actually come from underneath the machine. So you would just slip your hand underneath the machine like that, and your hand is actually going to be going right under here. Eventually, you'll be able just to feel where that is. Okay, so you can see that bobbin right up under there inside the machine. So you're simply going to reach in here. Make sure you have the machine off at this point. You don't want to get your fingers by mistake. I'm going to pull this little lever out. Pull out the bobbin that way, or the bobbin case, and there's the case. Okay, the other way to get into the bobbin case is to use this little door right here. Some people can actually get their fingernails in this little thing and push up. I actually push up from the bottom. Okay, and then I slide it over. Okay, that little door can come all the way out. But then as you can see, you do have access to that bobbin case. You would just reach in there instead of going under to get that bobbin case at that point. Okay, so I could just reach in there and get it from that point. I just find it easier to go underneath. You can see my hands are right there, and grab it. Okay, my fingers have a hard time getting through there, but that is an option if that is one way you want to go. Okay, once you have your bobbin case out, you're going to need to put your bobbin inside that bobbin case. So the first thing I always do is make sure that I have my bobbin in my hand. I have the tail of the thread coming down the left side, so it makes kind of like a letter P. Okay, and I've got my bobbin right here. I've got the smiley face kind of up there. I'm going to turn that smiley face around. I'm going to slip my bobbin right inside that case. Okay, it fits real nicely in there. From there, if you kind of turn it towards the right side of the bobbin, you'll see this little slit right here in the bobbin case. Okay, I'm actually going to take the tail of my thread, come up and through that, and pull it around through this little part right here. Okay, so it kind of slips under that part, and then I have it just kind of comes through that little hole right there. Okay, so at this point, if you've got it through there correctly and you hold this here, it should just dangle. Okay, if you kind of jiggle a little bit and it goes down a little bit, that's fine. It should not be all loosey-goosey and just fall right out of there. Okay, so once you have your bobbin in your bobbin case, you want to make sure that your smile is still right side up. I'm going to put this back into the machine. I am going to come up from underneath the machine because it's just easier for me, but I have that little window open so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, make sure this little smiley face is up. I'm coming out of the machine. You can see my hands there. Smiley face is still up. I'm going to push it back into that little hole. And when I get it in there, I'm going to give it a little push, and you're going to hear a click. Okay, that means your bobbin is locked and loaded and ready to go. So the next step is to get your bobbin thread to come up from the bottom. So once you have your bobbin case in the machine underneath here, and this, if you happen to open that little door, you need to make sure you close that again. I'm coming from the standpoint that I've already rethreaded the machine. Okay, that's on a separate video. At this point, I still have the machine off, just safer that way. I'm going to kind of hold on to my tail of my threaded needle. I have lifted the presser foot with with my knee. I'm going to use the hand wheel, roll it towards myself. At this point, when you're using the hand wheel on an industrial machine, you might have to put a very little pressure on the foot pedal to make it glide a little easier. Some are different than others. So I'm going to completely put my needle down into the machine. Okay, so it's completely down into the machine. You might not look at it because the foot is up. Okay, so as I lift that needle back up using the hand wheel, I'm going to gently tug on my tail of my thread here, of my needle thread. Okay, so at this point, your bobbin should be coming up from the bottom. Okay, so I can kind of see it right there. At this point, I'm just going to grab it. I've got my tail and my bobbin. Okay, if that does not come up, you might have to just kind of repeat that process. If it still doesn't come up, you might need to take out your bobbin case, reinsert it, and try again. There might be something wrong. You needed to make sure that you had tail from your bobbin coming off. If you didn't have much tail, it might have a harder time getting your bobbin thread. Okay, but now you've got both your threads up. I'm going to make sure they're coming through the little toes of that foot and back and out of the way.